No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast, episode 205. Oh, God. I am your host, the Warden, Matt Ritter. And as you can see, my co-host, Vince, is not here with us today. Daddy Delgado had some things going on. We hope things get better for him, and he's feeling better. But stepping in, now basically surrogate member of the Smackin' Raw podcast, and one of the few people that if I ever need a co-host is always there for me, along with Justin and Reek, except Reek is working tonight, from the Smackin' Raw podcast, host of the She-Elite Showcase, Katie Bebe.
What's up?
I almost asked you to see if you wanted to have Savannah on too, so like we could compare and contrast between tonight and Sunday. But because this Sunday you'll be over at Young Kings Wrestling, maybe sporting a Black Lives Matter t-shirt that week or on Sunday.
I will.
Young Kings Wrestling has created those Black Lives Matter t-shirts that you guys can get at my pin tweet at Matt Ritter. There's at MATTRIDDER on Twitter from What a Maneuver. And that money goes into a fund, and then that money in the fund is distributed to people who have suffered. Yeah, smack that mic. It is distributed to people who have suffered injustice, loss at the hands of the things that the Black Lives Matter movement supports. And we support them, and we support that movement here. So if you guys have the money and you haven't done so, it's an NWO style t-shirt. It's an awesome shirt, and I ask that you guys go donate because the money goes to a good cause, and we know the people that are handling it, so we know it's being handled properly. Katie,
Matt,
fresh off episode 4 of the She-Elite Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
Good.
Are you okay?
Last night's episode, listen, it was my birthday. Was drinking a lot. I haven't watched it back, and I'm not going to. I know
it wasn't bad.
I know it's never going to be as bad as when you did the Hell in a Cell recap with us.
Yeah.
I'm never getting that bad again. Ever.
No, it really wasn't bad at all. I was really hoping for Shitface Showcase, and I didn't get it. So
you got close. I mean, as the night progressed, I got more shit-faced, but it's fine.
And I mean, Savannah talks a lot, so like she just took over for you, babbled about Kenny Omega and her pretend Japan fucking wrestling that she thinks happens, and
Japan WrestleMania.
Yeah, Japanimania. So let's get into some news and rumors. First and foremost, as I scroll up, looks like NXT is going to be on Sci-Fi for 2 weeks. So if you guys did not hear that or did not know that, I believe starting next Tuesday, it's either for 2 weeks or in 2 weeks, one of the two.
I think it's for 2 weeks.
Keep your eyes peeled. If you don't see it on USA, it's probably over on Sci-Fi. So if you're looking for your NXT fix, that's where you got to go if it's not there on USA for you. And then the next big set of news is apparently it is being reported that both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have signed contracts with AEW. Now, it doesn't necessarily say what role those contracts are fulfilling. If it's an in-ring wrestler role, I'm assuming with Daniel Bryan it is. CM Punk, maybe not. Sounds like it on both accounts. Sounds like they have fair amount of creative control when it comes to their characters. So that is interesting. Now, there's a lot of talk amongst the IWC and the wrestling world, including Reek, about whether or not Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are needle movers. I know they move the needle for me in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But how do you think that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are going to be a significant shift in the viewership for AEW?
I mean, they're notable names. Punk has been speculated to be coming back to some kind of wrestling for like 5 years. And Daniel Bryan, which people who are getting real upset with him that he left WWE to go get his blood money from a blood money company. Get the fuck out of here.
On that note, so I read a lot of shit. I always read a lot of shit. All you people who were like, how dare you turn your back on WWE? They gave you everything, this and that, blah, blah. Did y'all forget, like, he wasn't supposed to be shit, and it was the fans that made him shit, and that you can still be his fan if he's over on AEW, and you can make him something there too. WWE didn't have plans to do shit with Daniel Bryan. He was a 5'8" scruffy nerf herder. No plans whatsoever to do shit with this guy. But y'all loved him. Now, I was not on that bandwagon. I was not part of the Yes movement. I was not one of you people who pushed for this average Joe to become WWE champion and be the greatest thing ever. I was like, I could probably kick his ass. I don't want to see him holding the big belt. I was wrong. I came around. Daniel Bryan is a talented guy, both in ring and on the mic, and he definitely deserved everything he got. But at the time, I was not about it. He was the most average penis in the bunch, and it wasn't doing anything for me. But no, you guys made Daniel Bryan something. The fans pushed for Daniel Bryan to be something. WWE didn't do shit, and if it was up to WWE, he would have been mid-card the rest of his career.
True.
So don't shit on Daniel Bryan for making his dream come true to go wrestle other places that he wants to wrestle before he retires. Because mind you, he also came back from an injury that he could again suffer and be out of wrestling at any point. So we don't know what is left in his career. So if there are people that he wants to go wrestle that he's not going to be able to do that in WWE, and he's accomplished everything he could want in WWE, why not go wrestle Kenny Blomega or the Uncucks, or over in Japan, any of those people, Hangman Adam Page, my boy, any people that he's not getting a chance to wrestle, why not go somewhere else and do it? Yeah. As far as CM Punk goes, I'm gonna speak to Reek here real quick. Reek, I need you to hear me when I say this. You said that CM Punk would be on par with everyone else promo wise in AEW, because they can all do what CM Punk can do. That is not true. CM Punk stood toe-to-toe and sometimes head above guys like John Cena, guys like Paul Heyman, some of the best talkers in WWE. The Rock. Yeah. This man went toe-to-toe on the mic with some of the greatest talkers in WWE and held his own.
Yeah.
I am really starting to enjoy AEW, like actually factually enjoy it, not just like this is something I need to watch. There's still shit I don't like, but I also don't like shit in WWE. I'm growing to enjoy it more and more every week. And let me tell you, outside of maybe Eddie Kingston, there is nobody in AEW on CM Punk's level when it comes to talking on the mic, period.
I can agree to that.
So that being said, what he brings with character work, what he brings with intrigue, and what he brings on the microphone, along with what Daniel Bryan brings to dream matches for a lot of those superstars and the things he's going to do in the eyes, because he got an entire fan base to change a company's opinion on him and push him to the moon. So I don't think WWE is going to lose fans because of this, but I definitely do think eyes are going to watch both products and they're going to get a shift. Maybe we see 1.5 million, maybe even 2.
Yeah,
after a while and after seeing what these guys can bring and what they have to offer, because I'm sure it's a lot.
yeah, I agree.
Last thing I have in news and rumors is I want to talk about the trial of Faye Jackson. Are you familiar with this?
I caught a little bit of it.
So basically what happened was Money in the Bank, professional wrestler, I believe retired, but don't quote me on that. Faye Jackson, independent wrestler Faye Jackson, who is friends with Big E and a few other people, tweeted out that she is so confident that Big E would not win Money in the Bank that if he did, she would post a nude to the timeline. Then Big E won, and she did not do as the IWC had hoped. She posted a picture of like nudes, like the fucking
Makeup brand.
makeup shit. So they had a trial. Big Swole was her attorney. I believe Xavier Woods was there and D'Lo Brown was there. It was this huge thing on Twitter, in Twitter Spaces, that you could listen to and be a part of. She was found not guilty of all charges.
Good.
Because you sick perverts, and I'm talking to you, Reek and TC, because Reek and TC were very upset and knew she wasn't going to come through with that, and slandered her. So no, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, on one hand, if you say you're going to do something, you should do it. On the other hand, don't say anything you're not willing to actually do.
I mean, she never said her nudes. She never said, if Biggie wins, I will post mine. She said a nude, and she did. So technically speaking, she did what she said she was going to do.
Expectations were high and they were dashed. But again,
that's on all y'all then.
Found not guilty.
Yeah.
Not y'all. I would never pressure a woman to post a nude online that she is not comfortable posting, even if she said she was going to do it, because you just don't do that. You tell them, hey, if you're not going to actually do it, then don't say you are. And that's it.
Touche.
You got anything else in news and rumors? I know you guys talked about some shit and I was going to write it down, then I didn't.
Thunder Rosa signed with AEW.
Oh,
did you not know that?
No, I did not know that.
I said that.
Yeah, I might have tuned out. I might have been in the chat doing stuff and
probably
one ear and out the other.
Yeah, she yesterday, because her birthday, well, technically 2 days ago, the 22nd is also her birthday, and that's when they like tweeted out that she's officially All Elite.
Which is, it is and it isn't, because like AEW is going to allow her to work with other companies, so it's kind of a hit for NWA, because she's one of the few things that they really did have, like as far as an asset goes, and she's been working in AEW. It makes sense that she's over there. Definitely a big get for AEW, even though she's been there doing shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's been working with them for quite a bit now, so it was expected. But the fact that it was on her birthday was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And Serena Deeb is still signed to AEW. She's not working with the NWA, just to be clear. But NWA Empower is coming up. That's fucking exciting. Mickie James doing a bunch of press, doing a bunch of shit for it. Was on Impact, asking Deonna Purrazzo to be a part of it and shit. And Deonna was like, no, I'm good.
No, she is.
Did she change her mind? I thought she said she wasn't going to do it.
Gail Kim came out and kind of persuaded her to do it. So Deanna's on board for Empower. This is
what happens when I just like hear things and I don't watch the show.
I watched the clip on Twitter.
Look at you. Was this another after fact like the Jay White thing, or did this happen on the show?
This happened on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Deonna Purrazzo is going to be there, so I'm looking forward to that.
One step closer to that triple threat you want.
One step closer to that triple threat I want. Yeah, let's get Britt Baker in there, and then all the pieces are there. We can just make it happen. No, I do think, from what I heard, the NWA Women's Championship is being defended the next night, and they're having a tournament to determine who will face Camille for the NWA Women's Championship. And the next night is the regular NWA pay-per-view. If Mickie James did some stuff on Busted Open, and I was listening to it, and I believe that's what I got, because I know Mickey's also wrestling on the regular pay-per-view. She will not be wrestling on this show.
Okay.
Because she doesn't want to split her duties and her attention between her match and producing.
Fair.
So
fair. But they are bringing back the NWA women's tag titles, apparently.
Yes, they are. So that'd be cool.
Women's wrestling.
Also, I think Kiera Hogan's a free agent now, and she's looking for her home.
Yeah, I think her last. She's done with Impact. So.
Anything else you can think of?
No.
Tell the IWC
No,
to stop referring to like multiple goats because they don't understand what the fuck goat means, or saying things are goated because it drives me fucking nuts. And I hate it.
Would you like to have a rant about it?
No. Maybe later. Where do you want to start? Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown?
Let's just start SmackDown.
All right. Just gonna blow the load right away. We kick off SmackDown with John Cena doing John Cena shit on the mic. He plays all of the hits, the "You Can't See Me's," the "Hustle, Loyalty, Respect," blah 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 blah. Runs down Roman Reigns about why he's a terrible champion. Gets the crowd really pumped up. He successfully built this match, got the crowd excited for the show, and still played all of the hits, which he's going to get called out for later. He calls out Roman, but instead Paul Heyman comes out. At what I put in my notes is Paul Heyman saves Roman from getting embarrassed on the mic. We will learn that I would be wrong later, because unlike when I am on Young Kings Wrestling, they gave Roman Reigns no handcuffs when he came out and talked tonight. So yeah, no, they unlocked those fuzzy handcuffs before he walked out and let him say whatever the fuck he wanted, and it was fantastic.
That was great.
Basically, Paul Heyman says that John Cena is not worthy of Roman Reigns, blah 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 blah. Roman's beat you before, blah 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 blah. Paul Heyman shit. Finn Balor defeats Sami Zayn. Baron Corbin is down the worst. Not only did he have his identity stolen by the guy who said he was going to create the website to get his money back, who then ghosted him, he had to take the bus. We learned that in New York public transportation, a man can smoke a cigarette and jack off at the same time, from Jizzy today. So thank you for that, Jizzy. I will be trying to erase that from my memory before I go to sleep tonight. Lost his identity to the website creator, just not doing well. No credit cards, no money, no nothing. He's literally flat fucking broke. Big E tries to celebrate his Money in the Bank win, but Apollo and Aziz, for whatever reason, just can't move the fuck on and leave him alone. So they interrupt and talk about, oh, Money in the Bank's great, but it's not an Intercontinental Championship like the one I beat you for. Then Ziggler and Rude, of all people, come out and say, hey, we want, like, you realize you're a tag team, and a tag team cannot compete together and become Intercontinental. I guess they could, because they did it with the Divas. Neither here nor there. You guys cannot both be Intercontinental Champion. It's one or the other. Pick a fucking lane. Shinsuke comes out with Rick Buggs and Cesaro also. They all want Apollo's IC title, praying to God that they get Big E out of this somehow, because I do not need to see Big E, who is the Money in the Bank holder, dealing with this bullshit and being involved with Apollo and the IC title anymore. We have moved past that now. We are main event Big E. We're doing big things. We're hoping for big endings on big people for big titles.
There you go.
I want to see him smack somebody with his BBC. Then we run over to Rolling Loud, where the fans had no idea what the fuck was going on or what wrestling was, but hey, it was cool. Wale does the introductions, tries to get the fans hyped. We get Street Profits defeating Gable and Otis. And then as they're celebrating, Bianca comes out for her match, where she successfully retains her women's title again against Carmella, who she beat last week to successfully retain her women's title, because as great as SmackDown is, they just keep giving us the same matches every fucking week. Yeah. I don't know why.
Because they suck.
Then we go backstage, and the best woman on the SmackDown roster, Shotzi Blackheart, and her tag team partner, Tegan Nox, are working on unjamming their dildo launcher from the tank. Kevin Owens stops by to give them some advice, runs into Corbin. Corbin apologizes to Kevin Owens for being rude. Kevin takes pity on him, gives him all of the cash in his wallet. Then he is shot in the dick with the dildo launcher and robbed by Ziggler and Rude. And then Kevin Owens runs them off with a chair. Corbin is down so bad. But it looks like he might have a new friend in Kevin Owens. So, like,
Which, who would have thought that was gonna happen?
yeah, Kevin Owens Corbin tag team.
I don't know.
Then we got a promo where Edge comes out and does Edge shit and talks about how, you know, he's dark and he was in the ministry and he was in the Brood and he did all of these things and blah blah blah. And then Seth comes out and just kind of laughs at him and accepts his challenge for their match. So we're getting Edge versus Rollins, which is going to just be fucking dope. Toni Storm defeats Zelina Vega in her debut match. So Zelina is now like 0-3 since returning to WWE, but they didn't job out Toni Storm like they did somebody else we're going to talk about this week on their main roster debut. So good for them. Dominic loses to Jimmy because things, and then Roman comes out. This is by far the best part of the night because I have to now believe that at some point Roman Reigns came across the Smackin' It Raw podcast, sat down and listened to it and said, that Matt guy is onto something, because that was the most Matt Ritter fucking PG promo you could have possibly cut. That was spot on Matt Ritter comparison to what I do here applied to wrestling. He basically declines the challenge and says that John Cena is just doing the same shit. He wanted something new. He was hoping, you know, Hollywood put a fresh coat of paint on him. He was going to come out, and instead it's the same music. It's the same character. It's the same lines. It's the same words, the same shit. It's like having Missionary every night. And he isn't about having Missionary every night.
Sir.
The amount of joy I got hearing Roman Reigns cut this promo, I was like, oh shit, where did this come from? I like this Roman Reigns. After he declines John Cena's challenge, Finn Balor's music hits. He comes down, says, if you're not going to fight Cena, how about you fight me? And Roman accepts. Now, I don't know if it's Finn versus Roman at SummerSlam or if we're going to get that before SummerSlam, because they didn't really clarify if that match was made for SummerSlam.
I think it's going to happen before SummerSlam.
Probably, because I think the plan is still Cena.
Yeah.
What if John Cena costs Roman Reigns the Universal title to Finn Balor? Finn Balor gets another Universal Championship win, and we get Cena versus Roman, no title involved at SummerSlam. And this is how Cena is like, oh yeah, Missionary every night. Well, I'm going to fuck you in the ass tonight. Straight up anal, no lube.
That I would be okay with Roman versus Cena no title. I think I'd be okay with that.
I don't think anyone would really see it coming. I don't think anyone's expecting him to lose, especially to Finn.
Exactly.
Now that I said it.
Yeah. Now that you said it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, Finn's beat Roman before. So
what are we swallowing from SmackDown outside of Roman's amazing promo and now this proposed idea that Finn Balor becomes Universal Champion?
Toni Storm.
Storm 1, not Storm 0, Storm 1, new finisher, new name.
Yeah. Okay. I like noticed that because like I missed that match, but like I saw the like Twitter feed of it. And I noticed that I almost like didn't pay attention to it, but now that you say it, it was that new finisher she did like once or twice down in NXT.
Yeah.
So obviously Toni Storm. I'm gonna swallow the Baron Corbin stuff with like everyone involved. So Kevin giving him money, the shot to the dick, getting robbed. That's funny. I like that. Because on this show I can slander Baron Corbin. because I don't know how the fuck TC likes him or thinks he's still king. He's not, but he is, I guess, technically. Whatever. But no, this is straight up karma. This is what he gets.
Yes and no. I am now, after tonight, they have found a way to make Baron Corbin entertaining.
Yeah. That's
so
it's
now
weird.
I'm kind of coming back. Like, I really like Baron Corbin in NXT.
Yes.
I even like some of the Constable stuff that Baron Corbin did. It wasn't until the dog food shit happened that I was like, all right, you lost me. I'm out. And I've been out ever since. King Corbin didn't do it for me.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. But I was a Corbin fan at one point. And now I'm like, okay, here's a way to bring me back around to being a Corbin fan. Now I'm almost certain, and I'd be very shocked if they didn't have Corbin use Kevin Owens to get back to where he was and then become a dickhead again and turn on Kevin Owens some point in the future, maybe for a WrestleMania match or Royal Rumble, something like that. So I have a feeling that's probably where this is going to end up. That's very long-term planning, but you gotta rebuild Baron Corbin, get him some value and get him back up there before he can really turn on Kevin Owens and stab him in the back. So I'm all for this journey. So I am also I got Shotzi and Tegan on my TV, even though they didn't have a match.
Exactly.
So I'm swallowing that because I swallow Shotzi 24/7. Like the title.
As you should.
I'm also going to swallow John Cena at the beginning of the show. Like I said, it was Cena shit, but it felt good to get Cena shit again. Yes. It's been so long since we've had someone that can command a crowd like that, or had a crowd to command, that it felt good. It
felt right.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman singing Cena's theme. So.
And I'm going to swallow the Rolling Loud stuff, because whether or not the fans there knew what was going on, or as Jizzy said, Tony Storm is as thick as the weed smoke at Rolling Loud. Regardless of what was going on there, that visual was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And Bianca walking down the stage after winning with all of those people around, that whole thing was really cool. So I know some people didn't like the way that it kind of played out, and they felt like stuff was being piped in and blah, 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 here or there. Aesthetically, it was cool, and the matches were good. So I'm going to swallow the whole Rolling Loud thing.
Well, another piece of news that I just remembered that you're saying, that Bianca and somebody else, I don't remember who, they announced that the first pay-per-view of 2022 will be New Year's Day.
Oh.
In Atlanta, I think.
Okay.
New Year's Day? Bro, everyone's going to be hungover. Ain't nobody going to want to do that.
I mean, I don't drink, and it would be the night of New Year's Day. So, like, you have all day to recover and get back up. And if you have New Year's Day off, you might just wake up, take a couple pills, and slam a couple drinks and get back into it and party on through. So,
I mean, and that's a Saturday pay-per-view.
Okay. So,
I mean, I'm not mad. I'm intrigued.
Are we spitting anything from SmackDown?
I'm just gonna spit Dom versus Jimmy. It just, I don't know, things weren't clicking for some reason in that match. It's just like,
they had to do it. Like,
yeah,
it's like, oh well, we've got this tag team feud, and what do? We'll put them in a singles match, because that's what WWE does. It's next week we'll probably get Ray versus Jay.
Well, I know when I go to the live event tomorrow, it's Dom, Ray, and Cena versus Roman and the Usos, apparently.
Ooh, that might be fun.
I'm very, very excited.
Overall, spitting or swallowing SmackDown?
Swallow.
Oh, absolutely. This was not missionary every night. This was vacation sex. I enjoyed the shit out of SmackDown. If you don't get that reference, go to my Twitter, vote in my poll, tell me what you thought about SmackDown. Vacation sex is thumbs up, just so you know. I know missionary sex might be the fun one to pick because of what Roman said, but if you like the show, that's not the correct answer.
True.
I feel like there are a lot of virgins on Twitter who don't know the difference, so they pick something. What's next? Raw, AEW, or NXT?
We can work backwards in the week, I guess. For once, let's just do AEW.
Kick off the show with the first labor of Jericho. Spears uses a chair. Jericho cannot. Jericho gets the win. And MJF informs Chris Jericho that next week he will be fighting Trailer Park Jesus, Nick Gage. Runs down all of the things that he learned from watching Nick Gage's documentary, because fairly certain MJF had no idea who the fuck this guy was until the Dark Side of the Ring came out.
Yep.
I'll get into it later. Gallows defeats the Elite Hunter Kazarian. The Good Brothers beat down Kazarian. Kenny comes out, says the Elite Hunter is the Elite Hunted because he's terrible at promos. Hangman comes down and makes the save. Don points out that Hangman is outnumbered, and of course, Hangman doesn't give a shit, but the Dark Order, who I still lament are a part of Hangman's life, make the save and have his back, so I can't be too mad at them.
Exactly.
They're not going to win me over. We got a Team Taz celebration next week for our new FTW champion, Ricky Starks, and Brian Cage says, I like parties. So I guess
I wonder what's gonna happen. Like,
this Team Taz shit is terrible.
Awful.
This needs to end. Wheeler Yuta loses to Darby Allin. Fine match, whatever. Most important thing about this match was during the match, Sting and Orange Cassidy do the Orange Cassidy gimmick, where Orange Cassidy kicks Sting, and then Sting kicks Orange Cassidy, and then Orange Cassidy does his super kick, and then Sting no-sells it and beats his chest very lackadaisically. Most entertaining part of the entire match. And then for some reason, much to Reek's disappointment, the Blade shows up and attacks Orange Cassidy because they've got a match later in the night and he's trying to get an advantage. Yeah. Britt Baker defeats Nyla Rose to retain the AEW Women's Championship. Andrade calls out the Death Triangle and introduces us to his new advocate, manager, associate, Chavo Guerrero, because you got to roll the R's.
Hell yeah.
Andrade says he wants Penta and Phoenix to come work for him. Don't work for Pac, work for me. And they're like, bro, we don't work for Pac. We're kind of like a family. Like we're partnered. Like we work together, not for someone. He goes, listen, everyone's going to work for me. So just come work for me. And yeah, they weren't having that shit and said that Andrade is not only not the face of AEW, he's not, or the face of Latinos. He's not on their level. So Andrade versus Pentagon and Phoenix will be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to that.
He's so good.
We got Christian Cage challenging the worst faction in AEW, the HFO, to an 8-man tag team match. I believe it's an 8-man tag team match because I think he said he wanted both the that tag team that I hate that are two fucking dorky ass white boys in neon, TH2. Yeah, no, those losers. I almost said something inappropriate. Those two guys, and the wannabe John Cena and his tag team partner,
The Acclaimed.
Yeah, the Acclaimed. So if it's those four, see, this is how irrelevant that this faction is I've now forgotten the name of two of the tag teams that are part of this faction. True. I believe Private Parties, like, is it all tag? Like, it's all tag teams in Matt Hardy. It's like Private Party, and then the Butcher and the Blade, and then TH2. And yeah, no, he just hired a bunch of tag teams. Well, I guess he is tag team wrestler, so it kind of makes sense.
It does make sense.
Anyway, I'm assuming it's going to be Jurassic Express, who I always want to call Lucha Express because of fucking Luchasaurus, and I'm really glad I didn't do that. And Christian Cage with Marco Stunt as the addition. So we're gonna get a Christian Cage match featuring Marco Stunt. Blade loses to Orange Cassidy. I was watching Bunny the whole time, but somehow he got Nux at some point, and then he didn't have the Nux, and then Orange Cassidy went and got the Nux, and then he gave a Superman punch with the Nux after the match was over, after he'd already won. So that was the thing. But Bunny was out there, and Bunny was doing Bunny things. And yeah. Then we find out from Chris Jericho that if Nick Gage is the most sick and sadistic and twisted meth head wrestler of all time, he is going to get the most sick and sadistic and meth addicted version of Chris Jericho, the Painmaker, Chris Jericho, from that fictional Japan company you guys keep talking about. If you guys don't understand this, I have been pretending that New Japan is not a thing to give Savannah shit in the chat during the She Elite Showcase. I know it's a thing. I know it's real.
Very entertaining though.
Yeah, it gets her all worked up. It's fantastic. So, Painmaker Jericho versus Nick Gage next week. No rules match, because why else would you bring Nick Gage in?
Exactly.
So expect Jericho to get fucked with a light tube at some point. I don't know what the Painmaker does because I didn't watch New Japan. I just know that he wears funny face paint, like a sad clown.
Exactly, like a clown.
And then in our main event, fucking blew my mind. It is a Texas death match for the IWGP US title. Now I know it's IWGP, but it's actually a New Japan championship, even though NJPW is not in the title of the championship. So in case you guys did not realize, New Japan is also IWGP, even though it's not in the name. Anyway, Lance Archer defeats Mox to win back the IWGP US title in a Texas death match. These guys beat the shit out of each other. Mox went through 2 tables covered in barbed wire.
Yep.
And that was the end of the match. I don't really understand the rules of this match. I believe you have to pin your opponent, and then after you pin your opponent, you have to knock them out for a 10 count.
I don't think you have to pin them. I think it's you either submit them or they're down for a 10 count.
Well, it was supposed to be New Japan rules, and Mox was outside of the ring, so they did a 10 count like a last man standing match. But if it was a ring out, it would have been a 20 count because New Japan. And I thought Kyle said something in the chat about having to pin them first before they can start doing the count. I don't know. I just know it was a lot of mayhem.
There's forks involved.
Yeah, no, people were stabbing each other in the fucking face with forks and shit. Like, no, it was a wild, bloody, fucked up match. And I feel like Mox has been buying some crystal meth from an independent wrestler who may or may not be on NXT next or AEW next week, and he is trying to bring that methed out trailer park wrestling to AEW, and I don't know how I feel about it. I might be all for it, I might not. This match was fun. Exploding like tubes and shit. Not sure I want to see that on television. Not sure how that's going to fly on TNT.
Yeah, true. Probably not well.
If you slit somebody's jugular and just say, "Oh, I looked at it, the blood wasn't spurting out, he was okay, we're going to keep wrestling," it might not go well. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, you froze on my end.
I probably did, but since there's only 2 of us, we don't know whose problem it is.
You can just blame me, it's fine.
Yeah, I know. What are we swallowing from AEW this week?
Mox versus Archer, 100%. It also is just like the storytelling in itself. Archer lost the title in a Texas death match, whatever the fuck it's actually called. Won it back in that same type of match from Mox. And the perfect amount of brutality and violence, I think. Because I don't like death matches. They kind of freak me out. And I get very nervous because I'm like, somebody's legitimately gonna actually die. Like Nick Gage he was dead at one point.
Also lit himself on fire. Definitely working with a full deck. Smart guy.
He's something.
Great
Thank you, Dark Side of the Ring, for bringing him back.
Great teeth. Anyway, keep going.
Oh god. Oh yeah. So I liked that. And after the fact, it was on Twitter. Mox, like, it was like the sign of respect kind of thing. He handed Archer the title and like lifted his arm kind of thing.
It's like the first thing Lance Archer's ever fucking won in AEW. So like, good for
and
him.
He won in his hometown.
Yeah. Like, it's not an AEW thing. Like, they're like, yeah, you can win a New Japan title. Sure. Why not, Lance?
Fuck it,
If
sure.
New Japan's cool with it. Like, yeah, we'll give you that. But he won something on AEW TV, so good for Lance Archer because he's been struggling.
He's been so shit out of luck and been so close to a title.
He's like living Corbin's gimmick in real life over there.
Yeah, basically. This poor man. But now he's got a title.
I'm with you. I like I said, I don't mind the way that AEW does the violence, the hardcore, the death match thing. It's not too terrible. It's not too ultra violent, over the top, blah 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 blah. If people can't tell, I'm not a huge fan of Nick Gage, and if you are and you're listening to this, I apologize if you are MDK for life and anything I've said here has upset you. Too bad. It's my opinion and I have it, and you have yours, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for liking them.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Guy just doesn't do it for me.
Me either. Like, I didn't even know this guy really existed until I watched Dark Side of the Ring.
And it's so confusing because you've got fucking Nick Gage, Christian Cage, Brian Cage,
Hangman Adam
Page, Ethan Page, Diamond Dallas Page, Cage, Rage, like
put them all in a cage match, like it.
Nicolas Cage. So, like, if Nick Cage shows up, you could have Nick Cage referee a match between Nick Gage and either Hangman Adam Page, Christian Cage, or Brian Cage. Or I have a fatal 4-way with Nick Cage as the ref.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Nicolas Cage showing up on AEW?
That would not only be fantastic, but as a referee, you guys, all these fans talk shit about the AEW refs and how like they're too animated and they take away from the matches. Like, people don't like Ref Aubrey. Could you imagine Nicolas Cage as a referee? You want to talk it like you think Aubrey's bad? Imagine Nicolas Cage as a ref.
This man's gonna be doing monologues just the entire time.
Terrible. So bad it'd be good though.
Exactly. That's the point.
What else are we swallowing?
I'll swallow it. Britt versus Nyla.
You sound undecided on that.
Yeah, I mean the match was okay. Like they definitely could have had a better match, I think. I don't know, some things seemed off to me. I don't know. But it was Britt's first defense of the title and she won. So
I think Britt works better with people her size or under. I don't necessarily know that working with Nyla, who's bigger than her, works into her in-ring game plan. Like, she has gotten better, or at least shown how good she was in ring since the start of AEW, and gotten 100 times better in character and on the mic. Yes. She had a little stumble start there when AEW first started for a little bit. Improved a lot, or if she was that good, is now showing us she's that good. But I'm not 100% sure that she is adaptive to different, like, I feel like Britt can work a Britt match, and I don't know that Nyla can work a Britt match. So that might have been what the issue was. I'm gonna swallow the Andrade stuff because I am really looking forward to Andrade versus Pac or Penta or Fenix or all of them. And I'm curious to see what Chavo brings to Andrade, because Andrade was doing a lot of talking, and he's been talking perfectly fine, understandable English. So, like, yeah, I'm very interested in that. Are we swallowing anything else? We got the first labor of Jericho, the elite hunter getting hunted.
I mean, I'll swallow the Hangman stuff because Hangman.
Okay. And I'll swallow OC and Sting because that was amazing.
Oh yeah, how did I forget that? That was fucking awesome.
I don't know who the fuck Wheeler Yuta is or how he became part of the Best Friends.
I don't know how he became a part of Best Friends, but I know he's been wrestling a lot on Dark and Dark Elevation, and I think it's mainly because Trent is out because his neck.
Again?
Yeah.
Didn't he
So
just come back?
he was on a few shows. He didn't do anything because I don't know. He got like a fusion in his neck, I think, or something.
Okay.
But I mean, it went well. He seems to be doing
It's
fine.
so sad that the only good part of the Best Friends tag team cannot compete, and then we're stuck with fucking Chuck Taylor.
Why? Do you have a reason as to why you hate Chuck Taylor so much?
I thought I've talked about this.
I can't remember if you have or not.
I have. You are not allowed to call yourself Chuck Taylor and not wear Chuck Taylors to the ring.
Okay, that's what it is.
I also don't like his face.
Fair.
I don't know why. He reminds me of, have you seen that show? I think it's on Netflix called Insatiable. With
Never
Debbie
watched
Reynolds.
it. Debbie
Okay.
Ryan.
So Debbie Ryan, there you go. There's a character on there that he looks a lot like.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity.
But Chris Statlander came out, took care of the bunny, so I was a fan of that as well. Dallas Roberts. He reminds me of Dallas Roberts from the show Insatiable.
Roberts?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at that guy's face and tell me you don't see a little bit of Chuck Taylor in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's kind of weird. Why
You're
are
welcome.
you so good at that?
I don't know. What else do we got here? I think that's it. Are we spitting anything from AEW?
I'm spitting Nick Gage.
You're spitting Nick Gage. I can spit Nick Gage with you. I'm also spitting all the Team Taz shit
Yes, 100%.
all day, every day.
As we should.
Yeah, no. The crowd popped for Nick Gage, which fine. He had his dark side of the ring, capitalize on your 15 minutes of fame. Get the guy a paycheck. Whatever it is, it's just this does nothing for me. And I don't think he is an asset or a value to AEW. And I recommend that all of the talent in AEW double check their bags for their wallets and money next week to make sure that they're all still there, because he will rob a bank. I don't think he has a problem robbing some of you.
I mean, it
does not seem like he gives two fucks. No, I will. Let me say something nice about the guy. So Warren Hayes posted a video where he was advocating for trans rights and trans wrestlers, and he talked about why. And it was a very nice video, and I can't hate on the guy too much because I also support those things and those ideas, and the fact that he does is cool, and the fact that he made the video to put that out there is cool. So I will give Nick Gage a little bit of credit. I just not somebody I really want to like. If I wanted to watch him, I'd buy GCW pay-per-views, and I am not buying, like, I'd buy a pay-per-view to watch him versus Matt Cardona if I wanted to see him, because that was kind of intriguing, but also didn't want to see it. So I'm not buying that.
Fair. I didn't know about the trans rights stuff. That's fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Warren Hayes posted it, so definitely go check that out.
I will have to.
Overall, spitting or swallowing AEW?
I mean, I did swallow more. I'll gargle it just because I don't want to fully swallow it. Because, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything really that bad. I'm gonna swallow it. I really like the Texas Death Match. The Andrade stuff was good. The Labor of Jericho match was good, minus the Nick Gage announcement, which really isn't that bad. It's just not something I'm excited for. Wheeler Yuta, Darby Allin was good. I got to see Chris Statlander. Oh, I did forget one spit. It was announced, but we did not see anything from Malachi Black this week. They announced his match against Cody for next week, so they're not saving it for the pay-per-view. They're blowing their load.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a match. I thought it was just like a face-to-face.
I thought it was their match. I could be wrong.
Agree to disagree.
But anyway, they did not give me actual Malachi Black this week, and shame on you, AEW, for not putting him on your
Shame.
TV every single
Shame.
week in some shape, sort, or capacity. So you said backwards, so we're gonna go NXT.
Yes.
We have a very, very, very angry Samoa Joe who wants Karrion Kross. Joe says he was provoked. William Regal says, well, technically, you were not you were a ref, so that doesn't really count. And Joe's like, fuck you, cut your bullshit, give me this bitch.
Basically.
Regal says, I need you to handle this peacefully. And Joe says, well, I can promise you two things. It's going to end tonight and someone's going to go to sleep. All of which was true.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the way Joe planned it, but all of which was true. The Diamond Mine. No, I'm knocking my fucking mic over.
Yeah, why don't you calm down?
The Diamond Mine lose to Fish and Kushida. Knight and Grimes arrives at the arena. Apparently, Grimes just doesn't shut up the whole ride there. Knight is annoyed. He's also a huge prick. Drake Maverick decides to help Cameron Grimes with the bags. LA Knight takes exception to this, insults Drake, basically challenges him to a fight later tonight. Drake still tries to be a good guy and help Grimes. Grimes is trying to do his best to do his duties. Frankie Monet defeats Jane Doe because I didn't catch her last name and I'm pretty sure they call her Jane, so I'm just going to call her Jane Doe. She's not important. She was an enhancement talent. What was important was Mandy Rose, who you guys talked about extensively on, well, not extensively, but during an extensive part of the She Elite showcase last night, sits sexily on the announce table, either scouting or taunting Frankie Monet. Not sure which, but she was out there laying down across the announce table, scoping shit out. Yeah. Wade Barrett sits down with Bronson Reed. Find out we're gonna get Reed versus Cole next week. Santos Escobar wants the North American title. Hit Row comes out and responds. Hit Row is so fucking awesome and fun to watch and entertaining. And as great as Legado del Fantasma is, like, they are not looking as cool when they're feuding with Hit Row. Like, it's
No.
Hit Row clears out Legado, saves Swerve from a guitar shot. Swerve then goes to swing the guitar himself, misses Santos, but Wild gets left behind, surrounded, and smashed with the guitar.
Yep.
So Joaquin Wild caught an ass whooping with the guitar. Theory gets ignored for index drama, and he looked very, very sad. Which was after his match that I did not write down, but Austin Theory had a match with Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, there it is. It says, Cool Kyle challenges Austin Theory to a friendly contest. He accepts. Theory loses to Kyle. So as Theory went back, because he came out in the match, he went to go do like his little high five fist bump thing and no Johnny Gargano. Then he goes in the back and looks for some recognition after the match, even though he lost. And Johnny and Candace are too busy dictating what a grown-ass woman does with her pussy to deal with this sad little boy whose dreams were crushed. Mind you, Johnny and Candace, you are not Indy's parents. You do not have control of what she does with her vagina or who she lets do things to it. So mind your own business. Let Index happen. Let them be happy and let us be happy. Maybe, play with each other, do some mutual masturbation or something, whatever you guys are into. Don't care. Mind your own goddamn business. Diddle your own private parts. Leave hers alone. We got the breakout tournament. Odyssey Jones defeats Andre Chase. Leave. I actually didn't watch that match. I had other stuff going on. I really should be watching, like, for whatever reason, there are only certain people in the breakout tournament that I was like, all right, I kind of want to check out their matches. The rest was like, eh. So I haven't really paid too much attention. Drake Maverick defeats LA Knight. And then a very pissed LA Knight attacks Drake Maverick and orders Grimes to punch Maverick in the face. And he fucking does. Because apparently he doesn't understand what a butler's job is. He's never watched Batman, never seen that Alfred does not go out and hit people for Batman. I'm fairly certain Alfred has never punched the Joker in the face. So you, sir, are not contractually obligated to punch anyone in the face for this man. You just need to clean up after him, wipe his butt, do whatever. You are not a hitman. You are maybe he needs his butt wiped. I don't know. He looks rich. He might have a bidet, but maybe he needs dry. I don't know. Xia Li loses to Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's title, and I was very concerned. I'm still slightly concerned as to whether or not Xia Li is actually hurt, because it looked like she went down hard in that match. Rumor is she has maybe broken, possibly bruised ribs. She might have had them going into that match as well, and was trying to work through it. So hopefully Xia is okay. And then Samoa Joe, who has been pacing back and forth all night, waiting for Karrion Kross to show up so he can put him to sleep and get revenge. Mind you, Karrion Kross Samoa Joe also pointed out something we are going to talk about here in a little bit, as far as Karrion Kross's little expedition, vacation, field trip to Monday Night Raw. That's the word I was looking for. I just figured I'd say a bunch of shit and I get there eventually. I was not.
I got you.
Field trip to Monday Night Raw, which did not go well for him or NXT. So Joe calls out Kross after waiting all night. Kross shows up on the Tron, says he can do whatever the fuck he wants in NXT. He can hurt whoever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. He's the champ, and that's his prerogative. And then he pulls back the camera, and we see a unconscious, asleep William Regal out in the parking lot. Shout out to TC, who pointed out that Samoa Joe told William Regal like 6 fucking years ago he needed better security out in that parking lot and didn't listen. So this is karma for William Regal. This is what he gets. Samoa Joe then sprints to the back and hopes to avenge William Regal and get Karrion Kross, but Karrion Kross gets in his car and leaves before Joe can get out there, because he's my size and we don't run fast, so not a surprise. Instead, Regal's found dead in the parking lot. I really wanted to get like a picture of him laying in the parking lot like that and then do like the Grand Theft Auto Wasted.
I knew it.
That's what I wanted. Could not find a good enough picture to use though. So
that's immediately what I thought that when you said Regal's found dead
in the parking lot. Yeah. See. What are we swallowing from NXT?
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
It's fucking Samoa Joe.
Yeah. A
pissed off Samoa Joe, terrifying.
And it looks like he's cleared and he's gonna fucking wrestle, and that makes me
wrestle.
So happy.
I hope it's at TakeOver.
Like, if we just keep rotating guys, like Finn Balor came in, he went back up, Samoa Joe came in. Like, if we keep rotating these quote unquote NXT legends in and out for like a restart of their career, like a rebirth of energy for their career, like, do that shit. Give me Samoa Joe goes out, send down Sami Zayn because he needs it. Like, give me that shit. Rotate him in and out. I'm all for it.
That's a smart ass idea though. They should do that.
Yeah. I'm all for that. Samoa Joe was fantastic. Poor Joe, waited all night and then, left the parking lot to go find Karrion Kross. And for whatever reason, William Regal, I guess, thought, I'll go out there and I'll talk to this man in a calm manner. He seems reasonable.
Seems like a reasonable guy. No, Regal got his ass put to sleep.
Yeah. So he was right. It didn't technically end, but somebody did get put to sleep. So
It's very true. He never again, you gotta watch your words, people.
Samoa Joe made promises that were kept.
All right.
Let's see.
Hit Row and Legado.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Swallowing Hit Row and Legato all day.
Absolutely.
The way they do promos is fantastic and entertaining as shit. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know anyone in NXT right now that's going to be able to take and stand up to those kind of promos. Like even an Adam Cole, maybe like Johnny Gargano might be able to, but he's gonna be funny in how he does it. Like it's gonna be comedy on Johnny's end. It's not gonna be like a scathing promo. Maybe a Tommaso Ciampa, maybe, but
yeah.
I don't really know anyone that's going to be able to, especially the four of them together and the way their cadence and how they do it. I don't really know anyone that's going to be able to step to Hit Row when it comes to the promo game now in NXT.
I don't know.
It's a whole new thing, and I absolutely love it.
So
everything else was just kind of okay.
Was just like there, yeah.
I guess the only other like I was really hoping that Xia Li's thighs were gonna have gold wrapped around them, and they didn't. So I'm kind of sad about that. Especially because Reek was going into this. Reek was all like, "Oh, somebody big from Texas is debuting on Monday Night Raw." Blah blah blah, and he's like, "It's Raquel Gonzalez, Miss Pardon her back. It's gonna happen." And I'm like, "We'll see." I don't believe you, but we'll see. But I also kind of did believe him, so I'm like, "All right, well." She shows up on Raw. She loses the title on Wednesday. Then she's on Raw permanently. Blah, blah, blah. No. Was not Raquel Gonzalez. Giant Gonzalez is staying on SmackDown or on NXT as your NXT Women's Champion.
SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown.
Yeah, she's going to SmackDown now.
Toni Storm went to SmackDown. That's where the last recent group of women's call-ups went. I'm cutting some slack. But yeah, that's really it. Everything else was just kind of Are we spitting anything from NXT?
No. Again, everything's kind of just there for me. What are you spitting?
Cool Kyle is still a thing that they're still doing, and it sucks. It's like he is trying to do his own version of Matt Riddle, where he's just like trying to be a laid back, cool, let's have a match, guy. Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. Cool Kyle. It's stupid. I don't like it. Not my kind of white people.
Not my kind of white people. I get it.
That's what I say about Matt Riddle too. Not my kind of white people.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, everything else was so I'm swallowing NXT just because of Samoa Joe. Like, if it was not for the Samoa Joe stuff, if like you had any other main event, any other shit going on, I would have been like, I'll probably gargle this week. But Samoa Joe saved this show, like from just being mediocre show.
Yeah, I have to agree. Samoa, and it's more so the pissed off Samoa Joe.
Yes,
like Samoa Joe on the show, we would see, but a pissed off Samoa Joe who's ready to kill anybody and everything. You gotta swallow it.
Yeah, you gotta swallow that. So yeah, I'm swallowing it just for that. I really don't know. Like, I guess. All right, Monday Night Raw. This is the return of John Cena after Money in the Bank, even though we already ran down SmackDown, so it doesn't seem like it's the first time we've seen John Cena since Money in the Bank. We're going back to Monday, so it is the first time we've seen Cena since Money in the Bank. So all the stuff he said about Roman tonight, he said also on Monday Night Raw. He's back. He called Roman an asshole.
There we go.
So that was an addition. Says he's here to knock Roman down a peg. And then all of my love for John Cena and being happy he was back flew straight out the fucking window because, bro, dumb shit has to come down. They exchanged bros talking whatever fucking frat boy language they were speaking in where they understood each other. And it was the dumbest, like, that is my biggest spit from Monday Night Raw. And there's a lot of stuff to spit from Monday Night Raw. Then we got a 6-man tag team match. It's Riddle and the Raiders defeating AJ, Omos, and Morrison. Okay. Symphony of Destruction match. Elias loses to the Capital Riot Patriot. Mansoor decides that even though Ali has been a fucking asshole this entire time, he wants to team with Ali because he feels like Ali's really a good person and he's just trying to help him in his own way. So the best way to do that is to be a team. Ali accepts reluctantly, but kind of chuckles about it. So maybe got some shady ass plans. Like, okay, motherfucker, I'll show you. Sheamus then complains about having to face Berto again. Says this match won't be for the title. It will be for a title shot. He's like, all right, fine. I'll just beat him again. Charlotte makes sure she gets booed by the crowd. She comes out after everyone was kind of happy with her after Money in the Bank, except for Katie, because Katie absolutely hates Charlotte. Cuts down the crowd, cuts down, blah, 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 and then goes out of her way to count her championships and not mention that she is a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. So she says she's only an 11-time champion, does not acknowledge the NXT Championship wins, despite the fact that she won a fucking Royal Rumble and then used that Royal Rumble win to challenge the NXT champion Rhea Ripley, who she beat at WrestleMania for that title. Neither here nor there. Basically says, because the crowd starts chanting Becky again, that Becky's breastfeeding and while Becky's at home breastfeeding, she's out here winning. Rhea challenges her to a rematch. Charlotte declines. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville say, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do it. So Charlotte attacks the knee on Rhea. Natmina defeats Shayna because that was a fucking thing. And then at the end of it, Shayna decides, you know what, Reggie, we're better off without you. Nia actually dumps Reggie and leaves with Shayna Baszler. So Shayna is still a fucking thing that I thought was going to break up and go away and is not. Mm-hmm. But maybe Reggie wasn't the problem because while Shayna is losing, Reggie is winning the 24/7 championship. And this man is going to be hard to catch with that title.
Fucking Cirque du Soleil ass.
Yeah. Sheamus defeats Berto. Bobby issues an open challenge to anyone in the back because there's no one left. And we get the return of Keith Lee, who I have been waiting for months. I have been terrified about because of cryptic tweets about his health or whatever was going on with him, his status with the company. And all of my happiness and joy turns to shit because Keith Lee not only loses to Bobby Lashley in his return match, which was not a title match, but that loss sets up the return of Bill Goldberg, who will be Bobby Lashley's opponent at SummerSlam. We're going to talk about that. Jinder's party gets spoiled by Drew, who beats up one of Jinder's friends because he is just an asshole. Not only was he not a good friend. No, I'm on the TC bandwagon on this one. Not only was Drew not a good friend to Jinder, but now that Jinder made new friends, Drew is just beating up Jinder's new friends because he doesn't want Jinder to be happy. This man had a good time. He's like, you know, I finally feel like the score is settled. I went out there. I cost him the Money in the Bank. We can move on. Everything's good. And Drew's like, no. You're not going to be happy. If I'm not your friend, nobody's your friend. And I don't want to be your friend. So I'm going to beat your friends up. And that is a real dick move, Drew. You and your stupid fucking stories. Jeff Hardy pins Karrion Kross in like a minute 30 with a roll up with his feet on the ropes. And Karrion Kross, your NXT champion's Raw debut that did not involve the awesomeness of his entrance or Scarlett. We got an Alexa's Playground. Lily is out of timeout. Piper and Eva show up. Alexa warns Eva not to say bad things about Lily. And of course, like every white person in a horror movie, Eva ignores the warnings and talks shit about the doll. Then on her way out, trips. Basically, once Alexa says she wants a one-on-one with Eva. No Piper involved. Eva declines. Trips on her way out. Blah 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 blah. And then in our main event for the Raw Women's Championship, Rhea defeats Charlotte via DQ. And then after the match, as Rhea extracts her revenge on Charlotte for getting herself disqualified to retain the title and beats the shit out of Charlotte, the music plays, and for the fourth year in a row, in less than 24 hours, a woman holding the Money in the Bank title cashes in, and Nikki Cross ascends from ash to ass. She went from
Wow.
almost a superhero to a superhero. Or no, it'd still
Okay.
be Ash. No,
It'd still be
it'd
Ash.
Damn. No, yeah, so no, she became a superhero. Yeah, no, she
Yeah, she
is.
became a superhero.
Yeah, no, she upgraded. Damn it, I really thought I did something there. Fuck that up.
That's
What are we
alright.
swallowing from Monday Night Raw?
Okay. John Cena calling Roman an asshole. We love to see it.
Love to see it.
We love to see it. I also just really miss John Cena. Like, I'm sorry. That was my guy growing up. So, and I get to see him live again tomorrow and at SummerSlam. I'm so happy. This is a good year for me. 25.
It's weird to me that I podcast with people who were like the children that John Cena was catering to when I was an angsty teen. And I was like, John Cena sucks. And you guys are like, John Cena, I'm going to buy your merch. Like, it's weird that I'm podcasting with those people now, but neither here nor there.
Listen, you act like I chose when I was going to be born.
I'm not acting like that. I'm just saying it's weird that the kids that I made fun of as a teenager for being John Cena fans are people that I work with on a regular basis now. That's all.
Listen, hater, whatever.
I was a huge John Cena fan until Super Cena became a thing, where because he was Superman and I hate Superman. He was Goku and I hate Goku. Like that's what he was in wrestling. And
That's fair.
I liked him better when he was an edgy, shitty rapper who made fun of people and made sexual innuendos. That was my Cena.
That was a pretty damn good Cena. I mean, that's the Cena I grew up with, so
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it.
We're gonna swallow Nikki Cross winning the Raw Women's Championship. Like,
Of course.
I would have liked to see Nikki Cross hold it a little longer and have gotten some backstage segments and skits and possible teases of Nikki Cross with it, but you want to share with the class?
Nope. That is
okay.
Nope.
So I would have enjoyed that, but I can't be mad at Nikki Cross winning her first singles championship in WWE.
Exactly.
Beating Charlotte Flair to do so, really putting this gimmick over, which I have praised from the get-go, as other people have shit upon it. RN. So, I said the same thing where I was like, you can't ask for more women on the roster and then be upset when they call up women and put them on the roster. Like, you can't want Nikki Cross to be successful and have good things and then be upset at the way that she's successful and does good things. May not have been in the time frame I preferred, but it is what it is. So,
but she also cashed in on Charlotte, and that's 3 that have cashed in on Charlotte.
3 of 4.
So 3 of
5.
5.
Yeah. Because Alexa didn't. I was there when Alexa cashed in. That's what that chair's from.
That chair. There you go. I was like, that one's not right.
No, that one's not right. I didn't even go to SummerSlam. I got that from my wife's coworker.
Nice.
He had it, and he's like, "Hey, your husband likes wrestling. Does he want this chair?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I want that chair. Put it next to the one I actually paid for." But yeah, no, I was there when Alexa cashed in on Nia, and then obviously Asuka didn't cash in. Period. She just kind of became champion because babies and boob jobs.
Babies and boob jobs.
Thank God for boob jobs and babies. That's what it was.
Yeah, there you
go. So, are we swallowing anything else?
I if I can necessarily swallow Keith Lee returning. Like,
I'm gonna swallow because I'm happy to have him back.
yeah.
That's what matters. And seemingly whatever he was dealing with, he has dealt with and he is okay and was okay to return. So from that standpoint, I'm going to swallow him being back.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it. Because Keith fucking Lee.
Yeah. Now let's do our spits. Because this is what I'm gonna let you go off, but first and foremost, John Cena and Riddle's interaction.
Yep.
I'm spitting.
I'm also spitting.
Said it earlier on Twitter. The issue in the IWC is not differing opinions. It's that people can't accept that somebody doesn't agree with them. So that being said, I will no longer be saying negative things about people who are fans of Riddle because it is their opinion and they are welcome to it. You are allowed to like Matt Riddle. You are not allowed to come on my show and say nice things about Matt Riddle because it's still my fucking show, but you can like Matt Riddle. That is your opinion. Do you? I will accept that you have bad taste, and I won't pick on you for it. In all seriousness, no, like, yeah, like if you're a Matt Riddle fan, you're a Matt Riddle fan. It is what it is. But I am not. I think he's trash. I cannot stand the gimmick, the character, whatever he's doing. And it ruined John Cena on Monday Night Raw for me. Because it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was not happy with the bro. Like, stop. No. Anyone but Riddle could have came out. Anybody. But no. Had to be Riddle. Fucking dick.
Yeah. So Katie, what is your biggest spit from Monday Night Raw?
Why the fuck is Bill Goldberg back on my goddamn TV? Why? I get it. Nostalgia. He's a big name. I don't give a fuck. Bobby wanted Brock. I'm not even a big Brock fan. I have said this on numerous occasions. But Bobby wanted Brock. I would have much preferred Brock Lesnar's intense ass music play and see him than Bill. Because Bill is gonna hurt somebody. How he hasn't almost killed somebody yet, I don't know.
I mean, he did almost kill The Undertaker. And I will never forgive him for that, nor could I ever forgive him had he done that.
Exactly. The man, just no. We're done. We're done with Bill. Because if they pull some stupid shit and they have Bill win the title off Lashley at SummerSlam, I swear to God, somebody's catching hands.
All right, so I will say this. Bill Goldberg is back because it is SummerSlam and because WWE still sees value in his name. And clearly from the reaction of some of the people in the IWC and probably the reaction of the majority of the fans who aren't IWC hardcore wrestling fan members, blah, blah, blah. They remember Bill Goldberg as Bill Goldberg, even despite what's been going on. Like, they're always going to pop for Bill Goldberg, and they think Bill Goldberg's going to sell pay-per-views or views or whatever. So they're bringing him back. So I get that. I have no issue with that. If Bill Goldberg beats Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, and you motherfuckers, you positive motherfuckers who come out here and always preach about all this and all that, like, I'm speaking specifically to Kenny and TC because they're really good at doing this shit. And they make great points sometimes. You tell me, well, he beat Bill Goldberg because the next guy that beats Bill Goldberg is... I don't want to hear that shit. It doesn't need to be about Goldberg. We don't need Goldberg to build somebody else. We need Goldberg to put Lashley over. That's what we need. And if he doesn't put Lashley over, then this whole thing was a fucking waste. And I will not be interested. I will understand that you have a differing point of view, but I will not be interested in hearing any positivity about how Bill Goldberg beating Lashley is leading to something bigger for someone else, because I don't give a fuck.
Yes. Everything you just said. Yes. Also, if that shit's gonna happen, well, I mean, it's gonna happen at SummerSlam, like the match. All I want, you'll appreciate this. I want the Fiend to come out and cost Goldberg. Continuity wise, it makes sense.
Yes and no. I still need the Fiend to get his shit back against Randy Orton. First
True.
and
Well,
foremost,
Randy's
no.
kind of just like MIA right now.
Yeah,
whatever
because
reason.
he had to fucking work with Riddle and he went fucking crazy and needed time off. Like he's like, everyone's like, oh, Randy Orton handpicked Riddle to be the guy he wanted to work with. I don't necessarily believe that. And if it's true, he clearly realized he made a mistake and that he needed some mental health time off after working with this fucking idiot. Hashtag Ritter over Riddle. Matt Riddle ran Randy Orton out of WWE. You heard it here first. Not
Exclusive.
confirmed at all.
Speculation at best.
100% speculation and very biased speculation. But no, that's what if and when Bray Wyatt has dealt with his mental health issues and is ready to come back,
Yes.
I need Randy Orton to die in the most brutal, terrifying, awful, but yet WWE appropriate way that they can make it happen. And then I need him to kill Alexa Bliss and Lily for fucking up my WrestleMania night 2. And I enjoy Alexa Bliss.
Fair.
I kind of really like Alexa Bliss and what she's doing, but she is the reason the Fiend lost to Randy, so she needs to die as well.
Like, this has just become a horror movie, so she needs to die.
100%.
Yeah, I get it. But I just don't want Bill near the title. And WWE's gonna pull some shit. I know they are. I know it.
And we like, okay, so putting Bill in the title match against Bobby Lashley is one thing, fine, blah, blah, blah. You know what we could have done? We could have had Keith Lee go out there, put on a very competitive match, have MVP screw Keith Lee over so that Bobby Lashley got the win. After Bobby Lashley took Keith Lee to his limit, figured something else out, whether it's Big E or whatever else, for Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, had Goldberg come out after the match as Keith Lee is collecting himself, cut his I'm back for SummerSlam, who's next, let Keith Lee step to Goldberg and let Keith Lee beat Goldberg, which would then get Keith Lee over. And if Bobby Lashley is still champion, now Keith Lee has defeated Goldberg and can push on to Bobby Lashley from there. That I would have been okay with and accepted, except I probably would still be bitching because I'm like, well, now they're just going to have Keith Lee lose to fucking Goldberg at SummerSlam.
Yep.
So like, until I see Keith Lee win, it's still, but.
I mean, or whoever, if for some reason Bill wins at SummerSlam, biggest if ever, I just want Big E to come out, wreck his day, and take the title.
Yes and no. Like, I really love the narrative that I've created in my head of
I know.
continuing the New Day story with Big E being the one to take out Bobby Lashley and get vengeance and reunite with his brothers. I really love that idea. Clearly, that's not where we're going because fucking Goldberg, but
because fucking
that's
Bill.
what I really wanted.
That's what a lot of people wanted.
That's what I really wanted.
But WWE said, here's your hopes and dreams. No.
That would have been great. That would have been awesome. Big E.
It would have.
Cashing in, defeating the man that has hurt his brothers, becoming WWE champion.
For the first time.
Yeah, for the first time. Anyway, I'm also spitting Jeff Hardy beating Karrion Kross. Kenny, if you guys want the positive side of why this is okay, definitely go listen to Kenny for your thoughts. He made some very good points. I just, again, don't agree that the NXT champion in his debut on Raw, regardless of what plans they have going forward, should be losing while holding that title on Monday Night Raw to Jeff Hardy, who hasn't won shit all year. And also, I'm biased and don't fucking like Jeff Hardy. He just falls off shit. I'm not even sure he does it on purpose. Sometimes I think he just loses his balance and then knows how to fall okay, and makes it look pretty. So that also soured me. But if you guys want to hear the positive side of it and why this might be okay going forward, definitely go check out Kenny's podcast, because he'll give you some hope for the future, but also no guarantees. And this also led to a conversation that we all had in the group chat about how it seemed like they were kind of shitting on NXT a little bit by not having Charlotte mention her championship wins, then beating the NXT champion. You know, the shit that they were doing on Raw seemed very kind of like what WWE did to WCW after they, you know, took over. It's like, oh, we're just going to beat all the WCW guys and not acknowledge their shit because we're WWE and we won and we bought you. Instead of like embracing it. Spit anything else from the show?
Oh my god. I don't
Riker won.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Why is he still like, and he's getting cheered?
Well, now, okay. So about that.
Okay.
It is no surprise to me that Texas cheered Riker.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot. We discussed this.
If you wanted to get a guy cheered like Riker, Texas is the place to do it.
Yeah.
Don't bring him to Chicago. Not going to get that reaction. But in Texas, not surprised they cheered him.
Yeah, I forgot that it was discussed in the group chat. I do forget that. Yeah, but fuck Jackson Riker. Fuck it. Also, I'm not necessarily spitting or swallowing the Drew McIntyre attacking Ginger's friends, but I saw a tweet and it was, I wish I remembered like who did it or what exactly it said, but basically it said, when Drew McIntyre shows up in a tank top, you know you fucked up. And I couldn't help but I laughed because it's true.
In all seriousness, Drew did carry the WWE through the pandemic. He was a damn good champion. I don't really have a problem with Drew McIntyre. I just enjoy jumping on. I hate the stories, and I enjoy jumping on TC's bandwagon of supporting Jinder Mahal and shitting on Drew for being a bad friend, because I see where he's coming from and I get it and it makes sense and I like it. And it also really bothers Reek. Sometimes that's fun.
Good time.
Monday Night Raw, overall, spit or swallow?
I have to spit. Goldberg showed up on my TV. I have to spit it.
Riddle ruined Cena. Goldberg challenged Lashley after Lashley beat a returning Keith Lee clean in the middle of the ring. Jeff Hardy pin carrying Cross in like less than 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm spitting Raw.
You have to.
I'm spitting Raw. Like, Nikki winning is great. Not enough to sway all of the other bad things. It's not like, good enough.
Like, it's not like a pissed off Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Like, Oldberg showed up on my fucking TV.
This was a lot of spits. NXT was just a lot of, it was there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. So, like, Samoa Joe saved a mediocre show. Nikki Cross couldn't save a shit show. In my opinion.
I agree.
And yours. What was your favorite show of the week then?
SmackDown. I have to go SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
It was SmackDown or NXT. So
yeah, and NXT was just Samoa Joe, really.
Exactly.
And the LA Knight stuff a little bit, but not.
And the Hit Row Legado, but
yeah, but no. Between Corbin catching a dildo to the dick, Rolling Loud, Roman and Cena, Tony Storm debuting with all the thickness.
All the thickness.
SmackDown just got thick, ladies and gentlemen. Thick as all hell. And the fact that Roman Reigns compared John Cena to missionary style every night, which is now my favorite thing in wrestling because it is, again, the most Matt Ritter promo I have ever heard on WWE TV outside of the Attitude Era. SmackDown,
So funny.
as per the She Elite Showcase host and the host of Smackin' Raw, is the best show of the week.
Yes, sir.
Katie, tell everyone where
Yes.
they can find you. Check out the She Elite Showcase. Your friends that do other things. By the way, I shut off Kyle and Seb's show because they started talking nice about Matt Riddle, and I would type in chat, and I'm out.
I saw that.
Yeah, so.
I saw that comment and I said, makes sense. Okay. You'd think I'd have this down by now. Follow me, I guess, on Twitter at KatieWrasslin13. That's WRASSLIN, no G 13. You can find the She Elite Showcase, which is the show I host along with my lovely co-host Savannah, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/SmackDrop You can find the other shows that Kyle, RN, and Bama do on
Seb.
twitch.tv/ Seb, but I meant like hosting. Twitch.tv/putting you over. Follow the show's Twitter at SmackDropPod. Smacked Raw on Instagram, which I have to get Savannah to actually start posting on that. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Most importantly, Thursday nights, She Elite Showcase, Katie and Savannah covering a bunch of stuff that I don't watch, but it is still very, very entertaining to hear.
Oh yeah.
You guys can follow me at Matt Ritter, that's at MATTRIDDER on Twitter only. Also, go check out our Instagram and Twitter, Smackin' It Raw Pod. That's Smackin' It Raw Pod, not Smacked Raw Pod. Both of those are on Twitter and Instagram. Vince runs the Instagram, so go give him some follows and likes, get those numbers up. You guys can also follow Creation World. Creation World is on Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That's THECREATIA World. Also, Facebook.com/Creation World, Facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw, and Facebook.com/group/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. If you are a fan of the DC universe, there is still stuff going on over there, even though Black Lightning has come to an end and the Flash has come to an end. I think Superman and Lois is still going on. Stargirl's coming back. So they still got some shit rocking over there. So go check them out and support them as well. And as always, you guys, please go hit that link tree. Go check us out on Pornhub and on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube. But also, I really love you guys are subscribing and watching us on Pornhub because we are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. For Katie Bebe, I am the Warden Matt Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw. And one more time, we are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Yes, sir.